Welcome everyone to another live stream. CTO misusing company AMD Zen cluster. How many is it? We can 16. I lose overview. 16 threads there. 30 to 48. Yeah, some 48 threads. 200 gigs of memory or so. Probably should be enough to build Linux distribution, right? Let's see if we crash it today again. Dialed back memory. It's a 96 gig memory kit here in this machine. Last night, thankfully, it's not yet dead. So of course I continued pre-testing. So our goal is of course to release, finally release the new majorly amazing, all things new, latest GCC Clang Linux kernel here of this. Why is here Porsche RC? Whatever. Of course, I tested some stuff today already, so let's continue this testing. So let's pre-test that, right? We still have at least probably a tiny little bit amount of to do. So also like major things on the to do plus to fix and improve. I think we kind of sort of can release it like that. As usual, I probably still fix some 3 or so things, 3 minor things, and probably we wait as usual for the Linux kernel 6.3.1 6.3.1 release. I committed this 6.3 already .0. Usually I don't, but I wanted to move that here to the build server because with my previous video Intel i915 DG1 ARC DGPU enablement for all other architectures, I had some regressions and I like building on PowerPC and stuff. Who wouldn't want to run an Intel GPU on PowerPC, right? Live here on T2 Linux. So this is why I committed this now. I was tired of rsyncing stuff around. It's exceptionally in now, but it builds for me. I'm live streaming from that, I believe. Yeah, of course I'm live streaming from 6.3 like normal people do. So long story short, let's start building. So let's internal build all. Let's nice all this stuff, or do it usually nice, but let's nice that better. And maybe not. Okay, let's build all with the default settings. So build all meaning 31 or so build variants, if not 32. We will for sure add one more major build variant this year, 1 or 2, but otherwise this year will be perfection, making more stuff, like more edge cases of KDE GNOME just work. And also I'm live streaming from a Steam Deck, right? Because of course you do. It's like, obviously you do, and Jupiter 1. There's freaking audio working, yay. So, welcome everyone on this crazy open source channel. So let's build all the stuff. I have here so I want to see what fails, particularly 6.3. I only built 6.3 for x86-64. And I built 6.2.13, or whatever the latest version is, 13. I built that today for IA64 and Alpha, and ARM64. And whatever, probably yesterday for Spark and PowerPC, just some more major architecture stuff. And so there could be major stuff failing as per usual, right? It's only constant change and regressions. So we are offloading this machines here nicely. And so this will be staged, right? So this is running, why is this running 32? That is actually not really, it doesn't, or did the default? Actually, maybe I changed the default of my internal build all things. So this, you have seen the script before, right? This is just my internal drivers here. What is the default? The default? This should be 10. Why does this not work? Maybe because of that. Why do I have here this quotes? What were I thinking with that? Not really sure what I've done there. Maybe I should also change. Oh no, what was the default? Also, the default is 10. Yeah, doesn't matter. So basically, let's see if my Ryzen 7950X with this world's largest 96 non-power of 296 gigabyte overclocked like 5600, overclocked to 6000, how it dies today. But I also hung a huge 12 or whatever centimeter Noctua fan in front of the memory. It got a little bit warmish. With warmish. I think the built-in SPD 5118 hub sensor. Okay, it gets warmer when we build. I think it was idling with 32, but I think it got 52 degree, and obviously the hub is in somewhere on the PCB, so the actual memory dies get even warmer, whatever they're 60, 70. And I dialed back the subtimings, of course. So yeah, so let's get this stuff building, and let's see. So the only other thing, so I kept here, I wiped all builds except Itanium by. Obviously, that's what you test with, right? But so this failed here for probably all architectures, but I just wanted to keep Itanium for the lols, obviously. And so WebKit failed. So probably everything should. Ah, darn. Okay, fine. Then we rebuild that WebKit GTK. It failed also for alpha, but probably for architectures. With some C++ template stuff. So unfortunately, this takes no 8 minutes. It is a little bit, I thought. But yeah, I thought I have the log there. But so I'm rolling again with my office share on this micro HDMI cable. That's of course not ideal. I broke already one. Welcome everyone. So yeah, crazy open source building. And basically, I can show you the to-do. Then I put the paper towels away again. This was not very clever. So the question is, so yeah, ideally I should some of this monospace fonts. This is so ridiculous, not so super most. I mean, yeah, certainly testing PowerPC then. What we could do now is, for example, this console stuff here for exotic Spark systems, and then we take a look at WebKit GTK, whatever the case might be there. So let's think. So for KXX, although I believe for Spark 64, unfortunately we don't have KXX. That is really sad. David S. Miller, don't want to. Yeah, but I have the feeling. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people use hardware virtualization anyway on Spark 64. So KXX doesn't affect that, and we reuse command line. So this would mostly be grub2. The only is actually grub2 after installation. So it probably should be. Do we? What did I comment here? So that is like you boot with. It's also unfortunate that this is not the default. It would also improve things if we automate, like you test or use because you like it, or we automate stuff in QEMU booting with console TTY S. Do I have a local on Steam Deck? Wiped that. Do I still have the rest of the build? Of course, now the performance is not epic thread ripping, but at least we don't have USB micro stutters. And I have SU tools. It does there now. It didn't fail yet. So how warm does this stuff get? Okay, so no surprise, it gets. I mean, it's not that much. Yeah, I need to watch it. I mean, obviously reduce subtimings. Help a bit. I believe was it previously 52-ish or whatever. Yeah, we will see how stable. I mean, so far it survived alpha and Itanium build. NFS utils, why? This is, it could be, did I build with Sandware too? Or with native? Don't tell me I built with native so much too. It could be illegal instruction, so much to over-optimizing your build stuff and then moving to what was this Steam Deck? Was this? By the way, I find this LS CPU too verbose. Like this, the main CPU stuff scrolls away, and the CPU family was so crazy high that was Zen 2, wasn't? Or whatever. I mean, we could check what. I mean, basically, I also don't really want to build that. Let's touch that log for a second. All I want is an ISO now for testing. I mean, I could also QEMO serial on the, and it's faster anyway. So basically, I'm also preparing for more cloud usage. I said I want to improve infrastructure. That also means like, I mean, for me using, you might also wonder why I use so much command line stuff, because I obviously grew up with that. And also doing cloud data center server stuff long before it was cloud, right? Before it was just normal professional computing servers. Okay, yeah, illegal instruction. More. Yeah, so much to, that is actually quite, did I had this experiment here, all right. I probably, and yeah, so much, I mean, normally I had this experiment, I probably built this with native when I tested that the other, remember when I, that is of course not ideal. Yeah, so I mean, normally it doesn't happen to you because you build T2 or whatever you build on one system and don't portable road warrior SSD stuff back and forth. Yeah, okay, fine. We do it here. Basically, we can also prepare that here. But yeah, my point is like more thin client, more server, that I can work even better remote, and it doesn't matter on which server I run that. And of course, it changes. It actually doesn't change the most. The only thing is native window directly map Word.io, Vulkan, GL or whatever, QEMU for the most part. So Stone mod, so we probably would want to wire that in here. Where do we? So basically we could, I mean, the question is what should we, and each of those points has design decisions, right? Do we want to include more from the command line? Maybe we, like if you boot with, like if you, I personally super hate this, especially with all this buggy x86 stuff, but sometimes you might need to boot with a CPU, enforce resources, Lex or TSC, FastSync or whatever other AMD SPI, clock, something whatsoever modern Linux quirks are. I guess for now, so that would be the design decisions, right? Do we only take over console, which probably might make the most sense. So theoretically, maybe I add to the to-do. Where is even here probably? And that is also why my to-dos obviously like perfectionist, right? Maybe I add, better shared bootloader setup glue. Maybe I have this somewhere on some to-do already. Just write that here already. Because it's so, we then do this for grub and then it's missing for Zilo. Although most for Spark we anyway want to move to grub 2, or most architectures we move to grub 2, but that is of course the thing, right? Each architecture has a bootloader, and welcome everyone. Each architecture re-implementing all the, yeah, so it's not this field. So we continue with this console stuff in a second. Let's IA, and again, so the build error is for all architectures. It's probably either some GCC 11, 13, GCC 13, whatever regression. Or some, so what is it here? So because as per usual, right? I mean, I was actually kinder a fan of reasonable C++, but obviously what I consider reasonable is not what other people consider reasonable, like advocates. So platform graphics source brush. That is exactly what I'm not a fan of. Certainly, I mean, that is where all the C fans, it's like, yeah, but template error messages. Converting standard optional web core from initializer list would use explicit constructor, const expression standard optional with up, web core, source brush, logical gradient, anonymous brush, logical gradient. Yeah, you had me at converting explicit constructor, const expression, optional. It's like, yeah. The problem nowadays is that the question is, when did it last build? The problem is, I believe I updated my in-system GCC here. Yeah. WebKit, GTK, GCC 13. Fixed build with GCC 13. But I updated that already this morning. I specifically updated that to see. Oh, they fixed build with RISC 5 64-bit targets. Interesting. So I had the hopes when I updated this morning that it would fix it, but it didn't. There's also WebKit 241.3. We could test that too. Unstable. Scrolling speed improvements. GStreamer support image. I mean, they say fixed build with GCC 13, but somehow that doesn't blend. Yeah, the error messages, I always liked generics. I actually use templates, but the problem is if you have a couple of those, I certainly agree that, I mean, this is a short, right? I mean, if you wrote serious C++ code even a decade ago, it's like error messages spawning hundreds of lines. Not an exception, right? More the rules than an exception. Converting standard optional source brush from initializer list would use explicit constructor, const expression. Standard not is yada convertible. Yeah, somehow modern C++ is. I mean, maybe if was it not is WTF some web something fonts? Maybe there is use W, or maybe WOFF was some web whatever fonts. Maybe some stuff can be disabled. Oh darn, I built with tempfs, not keep. But we don't need to build all of that. But I don't build with that because long subscribers know this, of course. If I build here gazillions of architecture combination, we quickly run out of memory, which is already why I vastly improved. And swapping is not the solution. I tried this with PCIe, NVMe swap. It only swaps to death, and ruins wear leveling and write cycles of your SSD. So better not to use that much tempfs and memory. So I've optimized the two configurations, so like limiting tempfs for smaller and so on. And this is also why I don't keep this, like keep tempfs on error on this build all auto-generated stuff, because if multiple builds fails, it accumulates too much memory. Because I had multiple things, I was sitting at home at midnight on the couch working on stuff, and then I couldn't log in anymore because Linux kernel deadlocked itself with overcommitted memory. And it's amazing engineering. Let's see, so we don't need to build all of this if we want to see if we can disable there something. Maybe some, but whatever that was. What even was that? What the fuck's no? I want web freaking stuff. Whatever. Yeah, web search so amazing you don't even find what. But maybe you can't disable that or. Or we try, it's not immediately, what was web font stuff? Web fonts, what is the abbreviation of that stuff? Web fonts? Maybe not that. RT web WTF. I'm a little bit triggered now too. Yeah, so many abbreviations. Leave me comments below if you still remember what stuff is what. Whatever it is. Somehow it looks JavaScript-ish. I mean, we could for a try see if this other... Was it 241 something? 41.3, yeah, that's it. I mean, we could give that a try if that happens to build with GCC. I mean, yeah, that's... I mean, thankfully most stuff are web template framework, thanks for that. Web template framework. But yeah, Google Search 2022, don't even... I believe I googled WTF, didn't I? Whatever, I guess. I mean, yeah, let's build that and see how that goes. And we, in the meantime, do the command line stuff. So for that, we can reuse the code for extracting the current command line from target share install all the root fs has been init. And so yeah, console here. Actually, yes, it can be multiple. How do we... maybe we call this command line. And then we could later add the additional stuff. So for now, extract that, and maybe, so how was it? Command line, I always kinda forget, like if, what was the syntax? I believe something like that. Actually, we don't need this. We can directly add that. So the only thing is, if we wanted to be super nice, we could avoid a white space. It would normally not matter. Was it this syntax? Wasn't this syntax always? Yeah. It should be so. If unset or no, oh wait, maybe I used the wrong one. What did I use? Maybe plus. Okay, so unset. Okay, if it's not set, then nothing. Otherwise, space, because like this we could keep this. This is just perfectionism. You could just, I mean, other people would just put command line and don't care about this trailing space. But like this, then we, oh wait, why do I have? Yeah, I mean, only if we wanted to do this super nice. It should usually not matter, so. And then add this here to each entry. So the point of this is like if you would, because I myself experience this. The one thing is if I test install with QA no graphics. The other thing is, first I didn't have console on a new high performance, cool, many threaded Sun T4 server. Even had to Google what's a freaking. This is also like Linux kernel illness. Why is it not default console? You boot your fancy Spark server and you don't have console. You need to Google what the bloody console is. And then remember, right, of course it was TTYH CV or whatever, HBC CV. And then you install T2 and then you reboot and then you again don't have console, right? This is usually, maybe I should more quickly do that like 10 years ago. Or when I had the first Sun cool thread servers in 2006 or so. But yeah, basically like if I, from now on, if I do stuff 3 times, then I probably should do the just get a call. Let's add, what if we got something, let's add that here to all the entries, Linux, boot path, root, swap device. So okay, actually, resume. Okay, we are already not super white space clean here, because this stuff would add a little bit. I mean, for now we could, where do we grab the swap device, by the way? Swap device, okay, we do that there once. So basically, I mean, maybe we could even add this to all command line. Only need to be, maybe do this, so command line. I slightly wonder if we so this was already not white space clean here, and then Oh wait, no, actually, yeah, so is this always left the trailing? I mean, it doesn't really matter the most. Maybe just leave it like that. I mean, we could include that here too. If defined, then space resume. They probably should take care of that. Work, right? At least for grub. I mean, very theoretically, should I do? The problem is always testing. Also, that is relatively trivial. Maybe it is. Maybe once tested, maybe I should spend the extra minute to move that, copy that to at least Zilo. Boot. It's probably mostly it, unless you wanted to have it in MIPS arcload. So, so yeah, that is basically. So then, yeah, theoretically for alpha I should write a. So yeah, this is still stuff. I mean, it's not that much. It's just some small. This ICU stuff worked for ARM. It failed for one ARM 5T build. So not sure what's up with that. So probably, as per usual, it adds up, right? I should also look shortly into that. So yeah, by the way, the temperature mapping here is, I think, is wrong. B top just pulled there something. I believe, yeah. So oh no, wait. How was? Although it depends how they even map this. If they map this directly, because I believe the first 8 should be the same, because it's first CCX, then CCX0, CCX1, and then other thread siblings. So whatever, that doesn't matter the most. So yeah, so far looks to be quite stable. Have we any errors? I mean, thankfully you missed some 5 minutes of call here and another 3 minutes of call there. So that's of course helpful to get through builds. Oops. Open risk, something failed. Oops, LVM, what's going on there? Not sure what's already up to date. Please send the following data. Strange. I'm not sure what we previously did here. Or is it some new stuff? I thought that previously did build. I probably. Why does this fail now? Maybe we built more now. It is possible that previously I might have moved. All right, I probably moved LVM something to some more base. This is of course a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, the life of a Linux distribution maintainer. You work 24/7 and that for free. Oh, this WebKit is still building. Interesting. This was IA64. Hit end. Didn't build. Didn't fail yet though. how long is it building? 19, oh, it's actually building. I mean, sure, the system is fully loaded, so like a load of 53. Yep, so far so good. 81 gigs available at this point in time. So yeah, basically leave in the comments below what, I mean, of course I know the last release had at least PowerPC broken, which might have been 64K pages, at least in one test build recently. I noticed that user space failed, and then later I noticed by pure chance that PowerPC 64 might have defaulted in the meantime to 64K pages, and we carefully had patched our user space not to do that. The default bin utils or whatever GCC glibc did that, but it was too wasteful for our old PowerPC 64 machines. And binaries, I didn't like it. So it might have been for PowerPC, but that is the stuff, right? You build everything, you release it, and then upstream by pure chance and stuff changed default page size for PowerPC 64, and then your stuff doesn't boot because first thing the init.rd doesn't work with page size incompatible stuff. Maybe I need to like take a look. So yeah, kind of these two things. Oops. But we're getting there. I mean, of all the gazillions of things we've done, automated partitioning, so it's testing. We're getting, so it's basically monospaces, copy this console stuff, like basically copy this ICU, one quick look, I hope it works otherwise, testing on real hardware. And where do I have Spark? I fixed Spark and some. Oh no, this is not the Spark. I mean, QEMU. I mean, so this might have been fixed. So although maybe we should test that. Oh man, this is to do getting wrong. It's probably our smart optimization. I found this also didn't break for x86. Elevator pitch 42 is a question. So basically, fully cross-compiled Linux, yet readable and clean, and allowing systematic development and deployment, especially of embedded targets, I would probably say. But yeah, as usual, maybe leave in the comments below. I actually had there a poll recently on what's the most important T2 feature. I mean, lots of the stuff is also testing and so on. Maybe I should actually. So the problem is, in the meantime, I realized, like the 4th year or so live on YouTube, this does not yet scale the most amazing. Maybe I should do. Probably need to do more pre-edited videos, so like with vintage hardware modding, case 6, 2 plus 2, 3, and so on, and use this as testing, because if I just do testing, it's as it free. I should theoretically. I created this libx ramdeck to resurvive some Xorg drivers, but yeah, only takes time to test and so on. Maybe I should, but that's always the thing, right? I scroll by and it's like, it would be nice to have, and should I still do it this time around? We're 6 months delayed. Basically, by the way, I benchmarked that MArch native for zero toolchain. I think I delete this. It was not really beneficial, so yeah, YOLO. And like, I tested that, and now I can't build on the Steam Deck because I have Zenware, whatever that was. Actually, I should probably Google that Steam Deck APU, what even. By the way, one small anecdote. I brought this Steam Deck previous video as Steam Dock because I wanted a glitch-free USB-C dock, and turns out, turns out it's not that glitch-free. The MST video stuff does not always work if it's in some irritated state. It's exactly the stuff I spent €99 for, not to have. And also, now that I use a Steam Deck as a Zen client and access to my YouTube and Word and stuff, cloud servers, the Steam Deck for me also doesn't survive. The dock MST video output does not reliably survive suspend to memory. It comes back, but then my screen flickers, right? So whatever is going on with memory timing, whatever memory bandwidth reservation addressing, or just MST, there were also MST, like non-MST state, whatever, cached something. If it's MST state or memory bandwidth, whatever, when I suspend to memory and wake it up, then my external displays flicker until I reboot. So it's like, yeah, totally glitch-free experience. Which Zen generation was it even? Oh wait, I think I saw the Zen 2. So Zen 2 and RDNA 2. Yeah, getting a little bit older. Okay, so WebKit GTK build here. So probably I could diff that, and should I read? I mean, okay, maybe when I watch the next episode of Star Trek PK, I'm a little bit behind that. Also, by the way, Star Trek PK, how much do you enjoy this? Maybe I diff that and see, because I mean, that is the stuff, right? For our tiny Linux distribution hobby, it's not really worth it. That's also why theoretically the best thing would be to diff it and see if I can, on a quick glance, like let's hope it's not 100,000 lines of code, see the change that might unbreak that compilation. On the other hand, maybe it's not worth it. If we would supply Tesla or stuff for Volkswagen, for car infotainment and stuff, and it would be mission critical, then that would be the right thing to do. Maybe I should scale back a tiny little bit of perfectionism, and like if it's not like AAA production requirement, production vital here, then it's like, I mean, it builds. Maybe I should start it, like, basically, as long as it builds and works, like, why not ship unstable if it only costs me, yeah, I mean, that's probably the cost calculation here. Like, if I don't have a benefit, so basically, yeah, deciding here live on this channel, I don't have a benefit of spending 20 minutes of diffing this and rebuilding this, another 10 minutes of cycling the electrons here from wind turbines through my horizon. So basically it's like, yeah, to fix build. So GCC 13 or something of that sort, I guess. So yeah, basically, yeah, it's probably not worth it, my time rediffing this stuff. Wait, but there was a Firefox before we built all this. There was Firefox 100. What are we at? 110 or 2? 112 or 2, I believe. Maybe I should quickly check. I saw this scrolling by last night. I should have immediately updated that, but didn't. 112, yeah, or 2. Oh, why is this empty? Hello? I have the feeling we just... Okay, so much to the memory overclock. So yeah, I probably can also reboot. Good that we tested that live on this channel. We are thankfully anyway to the end. So one reboot later. That is not... it's like, yeah, hardware stuff. So it's excessive cooling. Okay, we are at 54 degrees though, to be fair. So I didn't measure that. I also don't really want to remove the heatsink from this memory. So I probably dial back all primary and maybe a little bit some secondary parameters and hope it survives at night again. So yeah, that's it for this video. I have one reboot to do, which thankfully live streaming from. So by the way, will this check on the download? Maybe not though. Yeah, I guess we better not to have a partially corrupted download. Nothing like being able to do a redo. I mean, yeah, if you basically ask me anything in the last minute, I reboot here. So maybe I magic system request something unmount reboot. So before I wait here, this RCU stalled RCU stuff. Yeah, so recurring theme, the 60. I didn't expect. I mean, I expected that. To summarize this, I was surprised how much in the end I could overclock the largest 64 2-module gigabyte kit rated 5600. After some initial hiccup, especially with the gigabyte BIOS, I could then overclock this to 6000. This was quite impressive. So currently I'm running this at DDR VDD voltage 1.32. I mean, I could further, but it's just, the question is what were hub temperatures? What did Igor's lab DDR5 hub? Did they had some measures here for 90 degree something, whatever. So yeah, so basically the hub is there. So what readout values from hub? Yes, yada yada yada. So that is why, I mean, I'm happy that instead of having no temperature, at least we have some average hub temperature. I'm super thrilled. I previously had only one DDR4 module specifically with temperature sensor. So in my opinion, it is a huge free improvement. What was the difference here? So in the middle of the ledge or something, whatever, 3 volts, yada yada, PMIC. Measuring, yes please. Under float, yeah, 1.1, thank you very much, obviously have. So temperature. So okay, so this temperature is actually not unheard of then. If this is, of course, we're not using HW info SPD hub around 50, so it's basically what we had right before so now I can't scroll anymore. So that is basically not unheard of. So basically that means if your hub is 57, so yeah, some maybe 10 degrees, PCB 50s. I mean, not 10 degrees, yeah, nearly 10. I mean, 57 shouldn't be, I mean, the modules feel quite hot. The problem is, of course, I want more, okay, it will anyway retrain. I need the kinda needs the performance, right? 1.34 maybe. I mean, right now I have an Noctua fan hanging in front of it, so I have here 40, 42, 42. Should we? Basically, I mean, obviously I need stability. Nothing like building Linux distribution. Okay, I don't have set. Okay, could use in 7 instead of. I mean, I increase this like TW, TRS. Yes, I still don't have. I probably. I also don't have a USB port empty. So TWTRS, minimum write to read time, different bank groups. This auto trains to, I believe, 5 or so. I had this increased to 6 already because XMP1 is 7. So let's increase it further to 7. I had other stuff, quite some stuff at auto here. The thing is, I don't want to have it that slow, but I certainly need it stable. So maybe we try that 42, 42, 42, or do we? I mean, I don't really. Okay, let's make 40, 43, 43, 53 for now. Increasing all those by 1. TWRTS 6 to 7. Quite some more voltage. DDR VDD 132 to 34. Let's save this because obviously, and then probably call it a day. Let's post and retrain. Yeah, so by the way, one kinda, yeah, 50. Yeah, somehow I don't know what's up with this stuff. I had to NVRAM reset this. What I should have saved it. I should forget. I should remember to always save the bloody profile to NVRAM, and not to Flash. It is so ridiculous that you need to do this manually. So basically, the BIOS, PC BIOS stuff, a huge usability disaster in my opinion. I don't know why it was so flanky with, somehow it must not like some voltage or other. I don't know if it has some, like if something too hot, too glitchy, too whatever. That of course totally sucked, like way too much time wasted with that nonsense. But yeah. No further questions. Not worried about AM5 burning up. Not really. I have the impression there needs to be more stuff going on. I mean, the only time a processor destroyed itself here was in 5950X, and AMD swapped it. And I'm not overclocking this. I'm actually having the CPU vCore 0.1, like I believe 100 millivolt, undervolted, and the memory I'm also only having. Here we are up again. So I'm not that worried because I'm more undervolt. I'm not all core overclocking, and if it burns through, I would hope I get it automated again. Famous last words. And no, so much. Of course, I can always. I'm also running this already since 6 months, right? It's not a new assembly. It's not a. I know there are some cases of non-3D stack memory, but I'm running it for 6 months or plus since launch day. And yeah, I'm quite undervolting something. I'm undervolting some things except memory. I also had a feeling with the previous stuff I also was mostly undervolting, so 50 and 50X, which memory channel burned through. And the last time it happened with a BIOS update, after a BIOS update, and I also have the suspicion that it's often this auto voltage, right? So the previous 50 and 50X without an all-core overclock, only PBO, and even memory not the fastest because I had 96 gigs maybe in there, at least 64. So my impression was, or like my impression or gut feeling was that this auto voltage stuff is often, like if something doesn't, like DDR train or stuff, then this auto stuff applies more voltage, and it must have been somehow too much there with the previously already with the Ryzen 50 and 50X previous video. So, and now I have vCore normal or whatever the stupid setting name is, and auto, and then offset minus 0.100, like minus 0.1, and I also have the SOC voltage normal and currently plus minus 0. Yeah, so maybe that is safer. Of course I don't know. I also have the feeling this bubble substrate stuff looks crazy, so I would think there must be something quite significantly, maybe even manufacturing defects, whatever, maybe water trapped in the other liquid. I have no idea. Given how the substrate bubbles up there, that is certainly some rather crazy stuff. So how much slower is it? The thing is, with all this vastly dynamic boosting, so yeah, by the way, I rebooted right, uptime 3 minutes. not faking that. I only need to attach some more HDMI capture stuff. And I also need to go. Yeah, really need to go. Otherwise my wife and kid will not be happy. And what I do here is megabyte per second in these boot logs. And this cannot be trusted. So it's a little bit slower, but this is only some, also, wait, it's like a little bit slower, here slower, but so the problem is these numbers are highly influenced with temporary cooling, thermals, how boosting performance also. So currently my whole system is heated from 45 minutes or so epic thread ripping here through open source stuff. But it's just some general direction, and it's like, is the overall picture somewhat like, if you only have 40 gigabyte a second, then there's more wrong, right? It's the general picture. I mean, I only changed subtimings a little bit. So we will see also what is the sensors. Did I not? Or maybe I need to not prop that. My own code, right? Previous video. 42 degree. Yeah. So yeah, obviously rebooting, BIOS idling and stuff, and memory training and temperatures already. Obviously the fans. There's three fans from the Kraken set 73 or so, plus an Noctua fan hanging in the case, currently ventilating. I probably should check that. Basically, if I keep this additional Noctua fan in there, it's still a little bit angled in the case there for memory and VRM ventilation. Let's check. Can we pre-test it? Okay, I wait for the. Yeah, I wait for the Firefox build. So that's basically it. Otherwise, no questions. They are not using Expo. Actually, no, I'm using Expo. So the way the BIOS works, I find also stupid. Previous video, right? If you want to watch some good BIOS runs, more main channel there. Probably shall I subscribe. I believe I need to enable Expo for, or like need. I mean, you could manually do this. I mean, basic, but I have Expo enabled. That would give me a clock 56 for that. So then I set the additionally, and I even have latency and bandwidth Expo additional training, tuning, overclocking mode enabled. Then I have the clock multiplied to 60 for 6,000 mega transfers, and then I dial in some manual timings additionally. Some way lower. It wouldn't Expo and auto train to, what do I have now? 40. What did I say? 40? Actually, I made a photo. Huh? Nothing like having a photo of your BIOS settings. Yeah, 42. So 40. I know 43. 40, 43, 43, 53. I believe now. It would. I believe it would train to 70. Probably in the XMP. Actually, what you say, Expo? No, I mean, for me, Expo and XMP are the same. So I'm using XMP/Expo. The kit has an XMP profile, but it's anyway kind of the same, except maybe the algorithm is doing some other random bullshit. Who knows? But there is no other kit, right? And for me, XMP is kind of the same. It's just a little over JADEC clock, so YOLO whatever, plus some manual guidance, and it would Expo bandwidth latency tuned to maybe, what is this, to 70 or whatever, to the TRAS or whatever, TRAS. So certainly way lower for even more memory, because the only substitute for performance is more performance. So obviously we need some clock, and I obviously rather stick a Noctua fan on there. Maybe I even 3D print some plastic shroud to better route the airflow like an IBM or Sun server would do. But I have to go now. Family's waiting. This stuff is building. Share, like, subscribe. What additional stuff you would want to see here in done from all the to do, and then don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Have a good day and night, and I hope to see you soon for the next fun open source build stuff in coding to come.